All right, so let's talk about the idea and concept between carnivore and being plant-based. Now, which one is really better is up for debate. So there's a lot of questions of, oh, you should go vegan, you should go this route, or plants cause this issue, you should be carnivore. At the end of the day, everything's based off your individual self. We are omnivores. You're somewhere in the spectrum. Some people do really well with a lot of plant-based type of eating. Other people do well with a lot of meat eating. Now, if we're looking at evolutionary purposes, we talk about there's different regions that are in the blue zone that are very high protein with high meat, like Iceland. And then you have like tribes in Africa and other places throughout the world that are very plant-based and they live a long time as well. So when we talk about longevity, there's many factors that go into it. It's, your relationship. How do you handle stress? How do you eat? You typically eat in a caloric deficit and you're not eating a lot of processed food. It doesn't matter whether you're high protein, high meat, or plant-based. That's what matters there. And you're constantly moving and you're keeping your body active. So that is a poor argument. Now, let's talk about what each of them do and how they fill you up. So with plant-based, when we're talking about weight loss, how they fill you up is it's a lot of volume you get. So you can get a lot of food for a low amount of calories, and that's how they fill you up for weight loss. Now for carnivore, how they fill you up, protein is seen as one of the most satiating things that you can get. So protein is very satiating. Me personally, you live life. You don't want to just eat meat. You might get just tired of that, or you might just get tired of eating plants. Why not just be the omnivore that we are, for the most part, for a majority of people within a spectrum, and have a little bit of both. There's times I crave vegetables, and there's times I crave a little bit more meat. And learning how to listen to your body and learning how to manipulate these variables are actually very important. So just find out where you are in the spectrum. That is my recommendation. Now, let's talk about the arguments that each of them have against each other. So when it comes to plant-based, a lot of people talk about, well, we have supplements that we can add to our diet, and farming has really helped us move as a society forward. That's correct, everything is correct, but there's a lot more certain vitamins that meat has, for example, like iron, that's more bioavailable to the body the way it's formed. Can you get iron from plants? Yes, you can, but it's not as bioavailable. Now, on the on the carnivore side, when they're talking about plant-based, well, beans have lectins and broccoli can cause gut issues for certain individuals. That is true, but we also have the capability of processing food, right? So we would soak the beans, we would cook the beans, and beans are okay as well. The same thing, we have starches that we can really process the starch and make it a lot more digestible to the body. That's why some people have trouble with brown rice versus white rice. And we're able to process vegetables and cook them and cook out the toxins that may be in them. Because we got to remember this, as an evolutionary purpose, plants cannot move. So what they do is create a toxin inside of them so that when the animal does digest them, it becomes toxic to that animal. Now, being able to cook it, a lot of times you can cook out these toxins. Think about, no one's gonna eat a raw bean or you'll die, right? It's like poisonous. So we soak it, cook it, and it's digestible for a lot of people. Some people would have certain intolerance to certain foods. Just remember this, at the end of the day, one is not better than the other. Figure out what works for you and enjoy your meat, enjoy your vegetables, enjoy your starches. Figuring out how to eat is part of the process, and figuring out what works in a daily routine is part of the process.